Hi, my name is Paul Jones. I'm a saxophonist in New York City. I'm a little buzzed slash drunk right now. I just finished a gig down in Midtown. It was awesome. And I had a cool ride back with one of my good friends back from the gig back to Brooklyn where I live. And we were talking about stuff, and it led to a conversation about politics and the world right now. And I don't talk to a lot of people about it, but I think this is actually a really important time in the US and in the world right now. I think there's a chance for really cool things to happen in the world. And even though everything seems super dark on both sides of the spectrum, I think there's a chance for some really cool, positive things to happen in the world. It's not going to happen immediately, but I think doors are opening, and well-meaning people on either side of the ideological spectrum have an opportunity at this moment to grab spaces of power and choose to be decent humans. And the world is crying out for that at this moment. People are just begging for it. Everyone, left, right, top, and center, is so tired of getting treated like shit. And everyone is tired of feeling like everyone else is taking advantage of them, is tired of feeling like everyone else is winning except for them. And that's not what our system is about. Our system is about everyone having an equal opportunity, getting their fair share, and then living a cool life where they don't feel like they're under attack from whatever place and whatever side or whatever. They just want to live their lives and have a good time and hang out. And right now, no one is getting that. Only a certain few people in power are getting that. And if you're in love with those people, I personally think, and you feel like everything's going in the right direction, you're a little blind to realities because those people are having a good time. But are you really having a good time? Everything keeps getting more expensive for me. Is it getting more expensive for you? I'm not making more money. Things aren't getting cheaper. They're doing well, the people in power, but are you doing well? And I would say that most of us, while, yeah, I have a roof over my head and I'm thankful for my gigs and all, etc. There's not this overwhelming feeling that like opportunity is abound and all the work that you're doing is really getting valued and you feel really seen for your energy and your effort. I think everybody feels mostly like they're being taken advantage of and that this world does not have their back. And it's causing everyone to lean towards extremes and to think that violence is the option. And because they're so angry and so tired of working so hard and feeling like they're not getting ahead. And when you look at the news and you work at social media, and it's all this information just coming in, and you don't see any path forward that makes you feel good or that you believe in, and you don't see any people that you think are good people that have your back. You just don't see a way that makes you think that this all works or lines up. And so it's led everyone to this point of, fuck it, burn it down, whatever side of the spectrum you're on, burn it down, like, because nothing is working. It's not for me. Everyone is having such a good time and I'm not, and I'm working so hard and all I see is everyone else doing so good. And that I feel that way. I think everyone feels that way. And I think that's why we're in this place right now. And I think there's a way out. And I also think there is a glimmer of hope that this is actually a moment where there are doors opening that we can actually build a really positive, cool world. And it comes down to people choosing to make it happen. I don't know if this is going to happen. I don't know if there's the possibility of everything working out and our dream scenarios being really cool, but I think there is an opportunity for the United States, for the people of the world, as technology evolves, for people with good intentions of helping others, of building systems that work with others and value the world and spread value and share value because they recognize that it wasn't just them that created this system. It was a bunch of people that they really care about and they like working with, that all work together to create this really cool thing and system that allowed for this great wealth, that allowed for this great prosperity, that allowed for this really good time. And they want to share and spread it around because they like doing it and they like hanging out with people. And my theory and the direction that I would call with all this, and I know it's a fantasy, but it's going to take people choosing to make this happen. The only way that we get to the place that seems really cool and that is idealized, like in our minds, is people choosing to make it a reality. And I would call it moral capitalism. That's my theory. And it's literally just that people in power and with money choose to do cool things with their money instead of aggrandizing themselves. Like, I don't give a shit that someone went into space because they had so much money. Good for them. Have a good time. If that's what you want to do, cool. But it's not a story. It's not cool for the human race. I don't care that, like, someone created this new digital product that, they were able to absorb all the money and resources from another, structure, an ecosystem, and now they have all this wealth. It's not cool. What's cool? You invented something that helped everybody and you got rich. That's cool. You were so smart that you invented a system that made the world better and you got rich. That's fucking cool. Right now, we don't have any of those people. They're all just sucking up resources out of everybody else's worlds. That's why downtown Main Street is dead. That's why art and culture is dead. That's why new innovative products are dead. That's why name a regular field from day to day that's interesting and it's dead because these tech millionaires and billionaires have absorbed all the resources out of all these really cool facets of normal everyday life to aggrandize themselves and make them think that they're holier than thou. They're so cool because they have all this money, but they suck. They're not cool people. I don't want to hang out with one single person of them. I want to go to a show and see an amazing concert. I want to drive a cool car that really makes my soul sing. I want to go down to the farmer's market or the local stand and eat, vegetables and fruit that really I can taste the deliciousness and, the sweetness of the effort that the farmers put into it to grow this amazing thing. That's really cool because they believed in the value of these things for people, not for themselves. And moral capitalism is my personal concept with the way forward. And I think this is something that liberals need to really, really embrace. And I know it's a dangerous topic for them because they need to embrace business. And they just don't. And that's why they don't have any power. Like, you can protest till the cows come home, but if the owner of a television network wants to shut down a show just because they feel like it, they completely have that prerogative. And even if all of us protested and were like, we're not subscribing to your thing unless you bring the show back, they could still just shut it down just because they feel like it, and there's nothing we could do about it. And it's completely within their right. And there's a level of that for me that I agree with. Because if I didn't want to do a thing, I shouldn't have to do it. That's the whole concept about this system, choice. But where are the mechanisms of power? And in my opinion, all the arguments that the Democratic Party and the left has been presenting in the last 15, 20, 30, 40 years have been completely weak and useless because we wouldn't be in this place if they worked. And we have to change our perspective. None of our arguments are working. We need new arguments. We need new people in power in the Democratic Party that have completely different arguments because not one of them have worked. And one of the big ways forward for me is we need people well-meaning on both sides of the spectrum starting businesses and taking back the reins of power, because we live in a capitalist society, and I am actually very pro-capitalism because it's one of the only ways to stop, for lack of a better term, craziness. Because that ability to say yes or no is so powerful. Because if someone is crazy and you're like, I'm in charge, this is my business, shut it down, it gets shut down, and that's the end of it. And we need more of that in the Liberal Party. We need more people in control of businesses in all facets of the spectrum, to say yes or no to things that are pro people, not just pro business, but pro people. Like in the 40s and 50s and 60s, people that were successful recognized that they paid their fair share back into the system, because it wasn't just them that created this monolithic company. You know, they recognized that their friend helped them, and they had a good time doing it. And they enjoyed developing a new product with a friend of theirs and a peer down the street. And they argued with someone that they didn't agree with. And that moment actually caused them to think a few days later, there might be a different way to do something. And they came up with new ideas because of it. And they valued that person because they had different perspectives. And it allowed them to build a system and a new product and a new business that was more successful than they could ever dream of, because not everybody tacitly agreed with them. And they reinvested their income back into the system. And we don't do that now. All these billionaires and such cool people, they don't reinvest their money in a real way back into all the people that helped them make this happen. And that is the way that we can take the system back, is through capitalism. It's through building businesses that are people focused and investing in people we believe in, and even people that challenge us, because we recognize that we're just one person. Like, the world doesn't revolve around us. That so much more gets created by us doing things together with different ideas that challenge us, that are really interesting and maybe make us mad, and we get pissed off that they're not like ideally the right perspective, but then cause us to think in a different way. And instead of like gobbling up a whole system, we nurture it to create new ideas, to create new music, to create new cars, to create new songs, to create new, better tasting vegetables, more interesting clothing, better, smoother operating computer systems that like don't have all these fucking glitches all over the place. Whatever the thing is, because you recognize the value of giving back into the system, because it makes your life better and it makes everyone else's life better around you. And so liberals need to change our game. We need to start businesses. We need to up, down, left and right, and people good meaning, whatever political spectrum, good people that have intentions of helping others need to start businesses. And this is a moment in time, I think it's possible, because with the AI stuff coming forward, all you hear everywhere is like AI is going to end the world. And that is just, in my opinion, all the people that work in tech and all the people that have been living large the last 15, 20 years and not really paying their dues, their system is over, because anyone can start an app and anyone can start a business, and you don't need to pay someone 200 grand a year to develop your app. You can build an app in 3 months, maybe less. You could probably build an app in 4 months or 4 weeks, depending on whatever your idea is, and get it into the App Store or other places in the system and start a business that challenges the status quo in any system. And I really hope that people with good intentions that love what they do and want to share the wealth in a positive way, because they recognize that when another person succeeds, they are successful. And the more that your friend makes, the more that you make. And that they enjoy the fact that the success grows for everyone because we all do better, and it's so much more fun. It's not just one person doing better and their ego and because they got to go to space. And like, who cares? Those people are losers. Real entrepreneurs, real business people, I challenge them. Can you make that much money and make the world a better place? None of them are right now. And so I think there's a glimmer of hope. I think the doors are opening. I think this is a moment where liberals, instead of getting dark, need to build businesses in whatever specific field you are in. It's the time for you to start an app because of technology, because everybody is pissed. No one is happy on any side of the spectrum. Like, this is the moment to start a business because that is one of the real levers of power in this country. And then you get to choose what happens with the money and the power. And are you going to choose to reinvest in your community with people you like in an area of interest that is really exciting to you and cool and brings value to the world? Or are you going to just invest in purely yourself and screw everyone else and continue this system of just fucking everyone and not making people happy and not being on a supporter of humans and not being a basic rational person, just being an egomaniac and self-fulfilling person? Like how many cars and mansions does it take to make you feel good? Like, I'm sure the first couple definitely feel good, and I want them. But say you had 100 Porsches, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Bugatti Veyron, all the Rolexes, all the Audemars Piguet, or however you say that name. You have all the best stuff, and you're just by yourself, and you still don't feel good, even though you have more than anyone could ever dream of. Shouldn't that make you feel complete? Shouldn't that make you, isn't that the answer, right? You should feel okay right now. Don't you feel okay? You have all the money. You have all the power. Why do you not feel okay? Why did that watch not make you feel spectacular? I love a Ferrari, but say you get it. Are you sitting by yourself and you don't feel spectacular right now? Maybe it's because you don't actually love what you're doing. Maybe because you didn't actually bring your friends along with you. Maybe because you didn't actually invest in the system in a world that, treats people fairly instead of scraping all the value out of your life. Yeah, you're so cool. You have all the money. You're by yourself. You're alone. Good for you. You were the only person in space. Space is a big, empty void, and it's just you up there. How's it going? I don't think that's the way. I think reality is down here on Earth, where you have to deal with people, have friends, have loved ones, take care of them, and you feel the pride in doing that. You feel the value. You can't wait to see them, and they can't wait to see you. And you get excited to go do whatever work or project or hang or socializing or whatever the thing is. You're excited to do that, and you figure out a way to get rich doing it. That's real value. So I think the doors are open I think it's a moment. I think there's a chance if liberals and well-meaning people, whatever side of the spectrum, who value others, with this AI bubble door opening, I think there's a chance for things actually to be really cool in a very good way if well-meaning people start businesses that take the power out of the hands of these people that don't help others, don't have the interests of other people at heart, and really, in my opinion, are not that great. If you're really great, you could be rich and you could help others. That's greatness. That's what the Greatest Generation did. That's what the people of the 40s and the 50s did. They got rich, richer than anyone had gotten in the entire history of the world, and they made sure that every other person was taken care of. And they did, by and large, they didn't leech off of everyone else and destroy businesses. That's greatness, not what we see today. So I think there's a glimmer of hope. I think it's called moral capitalism. I think liberals need to embrace capitalism, because Republicans completely have embraced it, and they have the levers of power in their hands. If they want to shut a show down, they want to shut Colbert down, they just can. They just say, shut it down. It doesn't matter how many people protest, shut it down. So liberals, we need to start businesses. That's the way, in my opinion. And because then we get to choose what happens. Because I can say Colbert stays on. I can say people get paid for albums. I can say Main Street doesn't go anywhere. I can say you can still come to my big shopping center, Walmart, but also Main Street's still a thing, because I'm that smart and I'm that caring and compassionate. I recognize that what I'm doing affects other humans instead of just being solely focused on myself. Liberals got to start businesses. I think that's the way forward. I think there's a chance for us in the United States to get to a really positive place. I think we can do it. But it's going to take all of us sacrificing a little bit. We're not going to get to do exactly what we want all the time. I don't want to start a business. I want to play saxophone all the time. But the reality of it is, it only pays so much. Inflation keeps getting more expensive. Everyone in the music business is garbage. But I think there's doors opening where I can take chunks of that, and then I get to choose what happens with it. And I'm going to choose to the best of my ability to distribute the success to people around me. But that also but I'm not going to dissuade from the idea of I'm going to be successful and my success is going to elevate as well. A really successful person can get successful and not just ruin everyone around them. So I think there is a chance. I think there is a possibility that we could do it, and I hope people do it. I think people got to start businesses. And if we don't, I don't think we have the reins and power to stop what's happening. There's been the biggest protests ever. They haven't done anything. Nothing's changed, And if we want to change things, we got to try something different, because all the arguments we've been presenting and all the ways that we've been going haven't worked. And violence is not the answer, because it's not smart. It's stupid. It's just dumb. And so we got to be smarter. That's the only way. New ideas, new directions. We'll see what this video does. If you like it, share it with friends. I'm just a little buzzed after a gig, and I've been thinking about this stuff, and we'll see what happens. I'm Paul Jones. I'm a saxophonist in New York City. I hope this doesn't cancel my saxophone career. All right, talk to you all later.